This year I want to answer how old is too old. Everybody asks me when they come for lessons, when do I need a new driver or when should I get a new driver? And that's the big question we want to answer today. Do you actually need a new driver, or is it that you want a driver, but how would it compare to an older club? And obviously today I'm starting with the latest and the greatest. So the new QI10 driver I'm going to be putting to the test against a club that is from 2012. So if you can name the club, or what club comes to your mind when you think about 2012? Was that when you started golf? Was that when you got your first set of clubs? What club comes to mind? For me, obviously I want to test this because a lot of people come and say, right, do I need to spend £500, £600 on the latest driver? Is that going to get me an extra 10 yards? Is that going to get me lowering my scores? A lot of the times we're not so sure. A lot of it comes down to technique, and obviously if you are looking to improve your technique, then why not head over to our other channel at Get Good at Golf and start to see how you can get good at golf. But I'm going to hit a couple of drivers down here before I change into a driver from 2012. And guys, we're going to be doing this series throughout this year, not only with myself, but also with an everyday golfer, just like yourself, and see if it would make a difference for him. Obviously, we want to see if it would make a difference for you, the guy who plays maybe once a week, twice a week. Would having a new £500 driver be any better than your driver of a decade ago? First of all, we know what we're getting from the latest. We are saying that we're going to get that little bit more distance, that little bit more forgiveness. But if you don't always hit the centre of the face, is that going to be any better? Are you still going to be getting plenty of spin there? A little bit of a Healy one there up the right hand side, but would that go a little bit further than maybe a Healy one with the driver that I have in my golf bag? Let me hit one more now with this. We're also going to be testing this with irons, guys, also with wedges. Are you getting more or less spin with wedges now? Would it make a difference to an everyday golfer? That's really what we want to know to help you know where to spend your money a little bit better. Again, a low Healy one there, but moving back to the middle of the fairway and a pretty good distance there. So let me grab the driver we're going to put this against. So the reason I have gone TaylorMade is because I have gone a TaylorMade R11 driver that was out in 2012. Again, a white finish here, not too many marks on the top of that driver, but a popular driver with the likes of someone like Sergio Garcia. In his pomp when he was with TaylorMade, he did use this driver. But I have got this set of golf clubs from Golf Clubs for Cash, so if you are looking for second-hand clubs, if you do want to go and look at some, they have got a massive range, as you'll see on screen now. They have got an office in Edinburgh, they have got an office in Warrington, which is the one that I went across to, but you can also shop online. Plenty of options on there, and we're going to be doing this series throughout the year. Straight away down there, obviously, certainly a little bit of a different looking profile, a different finish on the top. We've seen, obviously, recent times we have gone for matte black tops, we have gone for gloss tops, we have gone for two different colours maybe on the top of the driver, but it's all down to performance for me. Let's see what we can do. Interesting. Similar strike, stayed a little bit left fading back, but looks to be a very similar distance. So a similar strike and a similar distance, and again, that is from a very similar strike. We're also going to be testing this in the studio with our mid-handicap golfer in weeks to come. We also have some irons from 2012. Comment below, what irons would you think of straight away? Let's get one more and get down there. Right, interesting. A Healy strike there, certainly launched a little bit higher. We have got the same lofts on these drivers, but interesting there. That one has hit the fairway, but is it the same distance? Is it a little bit shorter? Let's go and have a look. So as we come up here, we can see this is a drive here which was a little bit Healy and a little bit spinny from that R11, but behind the other two Healy strikes, I'd say these 5 to 10 yards. So not much difference at all, and really obviously with the latest drivers they have tried to improve on that spin, so they are trying to get a little bit more off those off-centered hits, but the price difference here for the latest and greatest, you're looking at £499.99, so £500. With this R11 second-hand driver, you'd be looking at £90. So if you're just getting into the game and you're trying to obviously hit that ball, maybe you might not see that much difference. I've only seen 5 yards there from, let's say it's 12 years difference in when these clubs came out. But how would it be with a mid-handicap golfer? That's the big thing for me. That's the big thing for you. Obviously, when you're spending money, golf is not getting cheaper, although the latest drivers have come down a little bit, but it's still very expensive. Would you be better off just getting a second-hand one, maybe a little bit newer than this R11, but I can certainly see there, 5 yards, for me, nearly £400 difference. It would be, obviously, a tough choice of what you would want to do. Well, let's go on to the next tee and see now, for me, obviously, can I work this driver? Is it easy to shape the ball from left to right and right to left? That's a big thing for me. Obviously, when I'm playing different golf courses, that's what I'm trying to do. For you, it might just be seeing if those off-centre hits can be a bit straighter, or if the technology is miles behind. Let's get to that next tee. And now, obviously, I'm not saying that technology hasn't come along in the last years. We know there has been massive improvements in that. But for the everyday golfer, depending where, obviously, you hit the ball on the face, that's what we want to talk about. Obviously, the average handicap over the last decade has not improved. So golfers, as a rule, aren't lower handicappers. There's a lot more people got into golf, especially since, obviously, the COVID lockdown. There's a lot of new golfers in there with maybe higher handicappers keeping that average up. So the average golfer's handicap has not come down. Technology has improved. But obviously, for the price we're paying for golf now, it certainly has increased. Is it worth it? Right, I'm going to play my stock shot here, which is normally a little bit of a fade, just like that one there. That was a little bit toe struck, low flight in the fairway, exactly what I'm expecting to see there, even from a mid-strike. I'm going to switch over now straight away to this R11, and obviously looking down at the golf ball, certainly the appeal behind it, it doesn't look as maybe as nice. There's a few marks on it, obviously, because it is 12 years old, but obviously technology has changed. Gloss finish, does that suit your eye a little bit better? But obviously online and at Golf Clubs for Cash, for example, there was drivers from last year like the Stealth 2 down under £300 now. So maybe you don't have to go for the latest. You might go for last year's model. That's nearly come down half price, under £300 now. Would that be more beneficial than buying the QI10? Obviously the QI10 does perform extremely well. One of the favourite drivers of the year for myself. But it's all about your budget, and this is what we're trying to do on the everyday golfer. We know mid-handicap Dave is a Yorkshireman. We know he doesn't always like to spend all of his money that he has got, his millions and millions that he's sat on. He likes to get a bargain, and if it's not going to obviously affect his performance, he's still going to enjoy his golf a little bit more, have that little bit more money in the kitty for a trip away, then that's something that you might look at. Right, let's try and play the same kind of fade shot with this driver. Again, just as easy, a little bit higher launching there, middle of the fairway, distance wise. Be very interesting when we get up there to see if I have lost a little bit more from that. You can certainly see the strike just there, a little bit towards the toe, but pretty centred. So have we lost more distance to say it was off struck with the QI10? Now can I play? Well, actually, I struggle to play a draw, so I'm not going to try and play a shot that I can't play. So what I'm going to do instead is just try and hit one of these pretty much full out now. Start to see is if I hit one full out and I do get them centred, fingers crossed, the elusive centre, how far is that going to go? Am I going to get much more distance out of a well-struck QI10? Is the technology with the variable thickness face going to help me out here? That was well struck, a low launching shot, but well struck there, out of the middle. He's certainly chasing up there. It's going to be tough to beat there. Out of the centre, I'm happy with that strike. Am I going to lose much now from this driver right here? 12 years old, guys, comment below what springs to your mind. What clubs are you looking forward to? Do you have any suggestions for 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2020 and on for the rest of the year? Obviously, I'm going to let Dave pick one full set here that he would have dreamed to have in that year and see how it compares to his current, obviously, affordable clubs in his Tacoma 101 tees. Very interesting there. Dave's got some affordable clubs under £500. Obviously, what kind of set could he get for £500 from an older generation, and would they perform any better? That is the big question we're trying to prove here for the everyday golfer. Right, nice shot there. Big, high, towering shot there. And that looks to have pitched a long way up there. That could be very close. Again, that was struck out of the middle. So let's get down there and compare both shots. Okay, so walking up here now, the first ball we have come to is the fade shot with the R11. So we have lost probably 10 yards behind the QI10 there. But very interesting for me, the QI10 well struck one there, which has just crept into the fairway, is not too much further than this slightly off-centered hit. So yes, so the forgiveness aspect of it is working out. A toe strike there with the QI10 has nearly gone as far as a well-struck QI10, and that's exactly what the modern day technology is. We've lost around about probably 20-25 yards from this fading shot, which we know has added a little bit more spin compared to a well-struck R11. So that's your big difference there. Yes, if you're having curvature on the golf ball, which we all are, you might start to lose a little bit more than you would with a modern day driver. But that's obviously a talking point you've got to think, is that worth £400? Or maybe like we said on the tee, the Stealth 2 has dropped half price there. That has come all the way down to under £300. Is it worth investing in that, which is only 1 year old? That might give you that little bit more forgiveness with that variable thickness face, but it all depends on your budget. And guys, we're going to start to see where the biggest change is here. Yes, I've tried to play a shot there that has spun a little bit more. Is that going to be the case throughout the years? Where are we going to see where there's not much difference? Are we going to get to that kind of point? I certainly think with irons, they're going to be very close, and we're going to talk through different designed irons. So maybe some cavity backs, then to some hollow bodied, then maybe more players irons. Comment below, guys, what do you want to see in the years to come? And what was your favourite club from 2012? But guys, we're going to get these in the hands of Mid-Handicap Dave now. That will be coming in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully you're enjoying this series, guys, and if you are, then do hit that subscriber button for your daily videos on here. And if you're looking to improve your golf, head over and subscribe to our other channel, which is Get Good at Golf, for all your kind of swing tips, short game tips, putting tips to help you lower your scores.